Hi, fantastic fourth graders. Miss Fallon here. I'm going to be bringing you your first science lesson video for this week. So looking on our packet on Tuesday, we're looking for the booklet that says Plants and Animals. This is the booklet that we're going to be reading in this video. Once you get that booklet out, make sure you have a pencil with you. And we're going to look at before reading. We always like to start with an activity before we read the booklet to help engage those critical thinking skills and get us on the right path with our reading. So before reading, we're going to fill in a KWL chart with your pencil, looking at the K section. Under K, you're going to fill in just a few little things that you already know about plants and animals, because that's what we're going to be discussing. So what you already know about plants and animals, just a couple of things, doesn't have to be a bunch, under the K. In the W column, you're going to write down what you want to know. So something that you might not already know, but you want to know about plants and animals. The L column, we're going to leave blank for now. You're going to fill this in at the end once we've read through the whole booklet. Then you're going to fill in something that you learned in this booklet. So looking at plants and animals, this is by Beth Stewart. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Go ahead, pause the video, take a couple minutes, fill in your K and your W columns before we start reading. When you're ready, go ahead and hit play again, and we'll continue on with the booklet. Plants and Animals by Beth Stewart. Now, as always, with our reading skills, we read left to right, top to bottom. We want to look at our text features, especially with our nonfiction stories that come from science. So, our text feature, the header here, is where we're going to start. The header tells us what the paragraphs are about. So we'll read the header, then the paragraphs. Then we have two captions on the first page. And remember, captions are a text feature that tell us what the pictures are about. So we're going to go ahead and start with the header at the top. I'd love to see you guys reading along, following along, and building those reading skills as we're learning about science. Plants and animals is one of my favorite topics to discuss in science, so I'm excited about this topic. We're going to go ahead and start with the header. Plants that make seeds. Scientists often classify or group plants by how they reproduce. When a plant reproduces, it makes more of the same kind of plant. One group of plants make seeds that grow into new plants. Some plants, like pine trees, grow seeds inside cones. Other plants, like roses and daisies, grow seeds inside flowers. Looking at the first caption, this floating coconut is a seed. Coconut seeds have thick shells and are hollow. Looking at the caption at the bottom, as you can see, the caption at the bottom goes with the avocado right here. And it says, the hard pit in the center of the avocado is a seed. The hard pit in the avocado is a seed. Looking at the next page, starting at the top, parts of a flower. Most flowers have four main parts. The parts vary in shape and size. So you'll notice on this page, we have a different type of text feature, one that we're already familiar with. So what it has lines drawn to different parts of the picture. This is called a diagram. A diagram labels the parts of a picture. So this diagram is a text feature that tells us the parts of the flower. We're going to start reading left to right from the top to the bottom. So we're going to start on the left, going over to the right on the top, and then starting at the left, going over to the right on the bottom. This is the top part of the pistil. The pistil is the female part of the flower. Inside the pistil is an ovary where egg cells are made. and it has a line that shows you where the pistil is located on the flower. The stamen is the male part of the flower. Stamens make pollen. Sperm cells in pollen join with egg cells to make seeds. Going down at the bottom, we're looking right here. The green parts below the petals are sepals. Sepals are the leaf-like parts that cover and protect the flower bud before the flower opens. And then the last one says petals protect the parts of the flower that make seeds. Go ahead and turn the page. We're now looking at pollen and seeds. Pollen and seeds. Pollen has to get from a stamen to a pistil for a seed to form. Animals often help move pollen. Flowers make a sweet liquid called nectar. Some animals eat nectar. Pollen from the stamen can stick to the animal's body and rub off on the next flower. The movement of pollen from stamen to pistil is called pollination. A pollen grain lands on a pistil. Then a thin tube grows down into the pistil. Sperm cells from pollen move down the tube to egg cells. A sperm and an egg join in a process called fertilization. Each fertilized egg inside the ovary becomes a seed. Looking at the apple at the bottom, we're going to read these labels. The fertilized eggs become seeds, and it shows you it's pointing to the seeds inside the apple. The ovary grows into a fruit, which would be the apple. The fruit protects the seed until it is ready to grow a new plant. Looking over at the next page, seeds on the move. Seeds on the move. Suppose seeds from a tree fell to the ground. Many seeds would start to grow, but the tree takes up a lot of space. Many seeds might grow poorly or not at all. Seeds that are scattered far from a parent plant will grow better. Some plants have parts that help them scatter their seeds. Starting to grow. A seed has a small young plant inside it. To start to grow or germinate, a seed needs water, oxygen, and the right temperature. And you can see in the picture, it's taking you through the process. This is a germinating seed. This is the seed, and it's starting to break through the outer shell, growing. Now it's got some roots. Now it's got roots and a stem with some leaves because it's starting to sprout. We're now looking at inherited characteristics. Inherited characteristics. More than 100 years ago, a monk noticed that his pea plants were not all alike. They had different traits or characteristics. Characteristics are the qualities a living thing has. Some pea plants were tall, others were short. Some seeds were green and others were yellow. The pea plants were like their parents because of characteristics passed on to them. But plants do not always look exactly like their parent plants. Plants and animals inherit characteristics. In science, to inherit is for a living thing to receive characteristics from its parents. And looking at the picture at the bottom, this is a picture of a flounder. Notice it's kind of sort of hard to make out the flounder in the picture because he has made his body camouflaged so he blends in with his background. And the caption reads, "This flounder can change color to match its background. This is an inherited trait." Now we're looking at environmental characteristics. Environmental characteristics. Something in the environment can cause a living thing to change. An environment is everything that surrounds a living thing. Weather and food supply are parts of the environment. The environment can cause a plant or an animal to look different or grow in a different way. A flamingo is a bird that has white feathers. And you'll notice the baby in the picture, it's like a whitish gray color, so that's the white feathers coming through. Continuing our reading. But many flamingos are pink or red. That is because of the foods they eat. The foods change the color of their feathers. And you'll notice that the mama flamingo standing over the baby is a pink color. And we're going to read the caption. The caption says, flamingos eat shrimp and algae that color their feathers pink or red. We're now going to look at animal instincts. And it has a picture of a goose with some babies. Animal instincts. Animals inherit characteristics from their parents. Some traits make them look like their parents. They also learn behaviors or ways of acting from their parents. They learn behaviors from other animals too. Physical traits and behaviors help them stay alive. Some young animals are born with instincts that help them meet their needs. An instinct is a behavior that is inherited. For example, young geese are born with the instinct to follow their parents. By staying close to them, the young birds are protected. And the caption at the bottom by the picture says, instinct causes these young geese, called goslings, to swim close to their parents. The next page, the header is instinctive behaviors, and it has 3 different types that we're going to read. But remember, instinctive behavior means that it's not learned. They're born with that already programmed into them, so they already know how to do that. So looking at the first box, it says migration. Migration is not learned. These geese live in Canada and the northern United States in spring and summer. They migrate to warmer places during winter. Protection. The porcupine will protect itself by turning its back and raising its sharp quills at an enemy. Hibernation. Some animals hibernate. Hibernation is a state of almost no activity when temperatures are cold. During hibernation, marmots may wake up just a few times to eat. Now we're looking at the page that says learned behavior. Learned behavior. Many animals learn by watching their parents or other animals. The behaviors they learn develop over time. For example, lion cubs learn to hunt by watching older lions. Lions pounce or jump on their prey. A lion cub learns how to pounce on prey by jumping on its mother's moving tail. Learning and instinct combined or joined together. That's what combined means it's all put together. Some behaviors are partly instinct and partly learned. The white-crowned sparrow inherits the recognition of a song. Only sparrows of its kind know that song, but it does not inherit the way to sing the song. It must learn that from the other sparrows. And the caption at the bottom reads, lion cubs learn to hunt by watching older lions hunt. All right, now we're getting into one of my favorite parts. We're going to start learning about life cycles. So we're looking at the header that says plant life cycles. Plant life cycles. All plants have life cycles. A life cycle is the various stages a living thing passes through as it grows, matures, and finally dies. Most plant life cycles start with seeds that grow into young plants and then adult plants. Those adult plants produce seeds, then the cycle starts again. Life cycle of a non-flowering plant. By non-flowering, they mean that it's a plant that does not produce any kind of bloom or flower. The pond pine is a plant that forms seeds in cones. Pond pines grow along river banks. So, this is a life cycle of a pond pine. And notice it goes around in a circle. So we're going to follow the arrows. We're going to start right here with the seeds, and we're going to follow the arrows as we read each section. So it says male and female. The tree has both male and female cones. Pollen from the male cone fertilizes the female cone. Then seeds form. Following the arrow down. Heat from forest fires causes the cones to open. Then the seeds can spread. Moving around to the next one. Falling seeds are carried by wind. And then moving to the last one. The young tree grows into an adult tree and a new cycle begins because the adult tree then produces cones that complete the cycle so that it can start again with the cones having seeds. We are now looking at the life cycle of a flowering plant. That means that this plant has a flower or blooms. The life cycle of a flowering plant. The daylily forms seeds in its flowers. Daylilies are grown in gardens all over the United States. So we are going to start this life cycle at the top next to the picture of the seed. And we're going to follow the arrows around to complete the life cycle. When a seed germinates, it takes in water and swells. The seed coat splits. Following the arrow around. The first root and the first stem push through the seed coat. The young plant or seedling has leaves that make food. Now we're down at the bottom with the flower blooming. The adult plant gets larger and grows flowers. Pollinated flowers have fertilized eggs that become seeds. Fruits grow around the seeds. Moving up. Over time, the fruit and seeds fall from the parent plant. New seeds germinate and the cycle begins again. We're looking at the page right next to it that says animal life cycles. Animal life cycles. Animals also go through a life cycle. They are born, they grow, they reproduce, and someday they die. Some animals change more than others as they grow. A mammal baby, such as a lion cub, often looks like its parents. Some insects change form as they grow. Life cycle of a reptile. An American alligator is a large reptile. Reptile babies often look like their parents. So now we are going to start this life cycle looking at the mother alligator, and then we're going to follow the arrows around. A mother alligator lays eggs and covers them. She stays close by. Following the arrow down. After about 65 days, the mother breaks open the nest to help the young hatch. And moving around to the next one. Young alligators eat insects and small fish. As they grow, they will eat bigger animals. I apologize if there's a break. Internet's a little wonky. Looking up at the top, we're reading the last section of the alligator life cycle right here. It says, at the age of 6, alligators are adults and can reproduce. So now we're looking at the page that says metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Some animals go through metamorphosis, or a change in form, as they grow. Insects go through either complete or incomplete metamorphosis. Complete metamorphosis. Insects that go through complete metamorphosis go through 4 stages. Each stage looks different from the others. Butterflies go through complete metamorphosis. So looking at this life cycle, we are going to start with the egg, and it generously labeled the egg for us because they're so tiny, it's kind of hard to see. So we're going to start with this one, and we're going to follow the arrows around. The female zebra longwing butterfly lays her eggs on or near a vine. Following the arrow, the eggs hatch into caterpillars that eat and get bigger. Each caterpillar hangs upside down from a branch, its skin splits, and a chrysalis is formed. Moving up. After about a week, the chrysalis breaks open. The adult butterfly comes out. Looking at the next side, it says incomplete metamorphosis. Incomplete metamorphosis. Insects that go through incomplete metamorphosis, such as cockroaches, go through 3 stages. When the cockroach hatches, it looks like a tiny adult. It molts or sheds its outer covering as it grows. So with this life cycle, we're going to start here with the little bean-looking baby egg, and then we're going to follow the arrows around. The adult female roach lays about 20 eggs in an egg case. Following the arrow down, each young roach hatches in about 48 days. It is called a nymph. It looks like its parents, but it's smaller. And then the last one says, the nymph grows and molts many times until it is an adult. So as you can see from the pictures, it starts out small, and then it molts or sheds that outer layer, and it gets a little bit bigger each time until it's an adult cockroach. So creepy. That is the end of this booklet. Now remember, on the back it has a glossary. All the words that we saw throughout the booklet that were bold and highlighted in yellow, they may not be highlighted in yellow on your black and white copy, but they're definitely bold. So all the bold words have definitions in the glossary to help you understand the meaning of the words. Now that we finished the booklet, I want you to go back to your KWL chart, take a few minutes, and fill in that L. What did you learn in this booklet that you didn't already know? There's got to be at least one thing. And then once you've completed your chart, you're going to do the after reading, did you understand? And this is just asking you to use these 4 boxes and draw pictures of the different stages from caterpillar all the way through to butterfly. So that's the end of your science lesson. I'll be posting later this week the second science lesson, which is on animal and plant classification. I hope you guys are all staying home, staying healthy. I can't wait to see you guys again. We miss you guys. I hope you're having a good day, okay? Bye.